Hey Libra, your June tarot reading is ready. I'm Eleanor and welcome to Pink Pearl Tarot. Your main theme for June is courage. And then to go along with that, we have baby's breath, magnify your intentions. And it says on here, choose a specific goal to work toward. Your energy is spread out among too many ideas. Please bring your focus back to the key intention and let your angels help. So what these two mean together, you combine the message for June. It's about dreaming bigger. It's about expanding your belief in what's possible, despite any fears that you might have, and those fears that they might disguise themselves as being realistic or realism. Because like setting really ambitious intentions, it takes an audacity that might be outside of your current comfort zone. So like maybe it would feel more accessible to call it determination, being driven, or being focused. This is a time that calls for persevering in maintaining your confidence. And there's also the acceptance that what you desire lies on the other side of fear and challenge, and kind of doing away at the moment with that expectation that everything that's meant for you will come to you easily and without effort. I know sometimes the cards will say that there is a time for that message, but it's just not always the case. And that's why we pull cards, because there's not always a one-size-fits-all answer. Some things that are meant for you are supposed to be achievements that you can take pride in and that you can grow from and that you can tell a story from, not just to have and then end up taking for granted, right? So the first question I asked is for a message to pump you up and embolden you and give you a little bit of that courage. And you have the Knight of Cacti. This is the Knight of Swords. The first thing that comes to mind with that is your battle cry. You need a battle cry. But it's like summoning your intention by speaking it out loud or putting it in writing. Even if it's no one else sees it or hears it, it's for you. The aspect of you that's going to rise to the challenge and see you through is your sharp mind and the clarity of the intentions that you set. Just because the intention is big and it's bold, it doesn't mean it has to be fuzzy or general or nebulous. It can be succinct and comprehensive at the same time. And this says that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. But I want you to really hear that. I think when we hear commonplace phrases like too often, they lose their impact. So I want to highlight it. I want to say it again. You can accomplish anything that you put your mind to specifically. It's that part, that putting your mind to it part. And you have a sharp and powerful mind, indeed, Libra. So let that take the lead. So for where you will see the most change, you have the Eight of Succulents, the Eight of Cups. So this makes actually a lot of sense here. When you set an intention, what you're doing is setting coordinates. You're orienting yourself in the direction of something that you want to move towards, right? So, which by default means facing away from something else. And so the biggest changes due in June is going to be that you are turning away from something. And this baby's breath card is talking about not spreading yourself so thin that you have more power to put towards a particular goal. And this card is referring to those things that you have to reclaim your energy from so that you can direct it all towards your new intention. So that's going to be the change, is that redirecting of your energy and that withdrawal of energy from something else. So for what will be your biggest obstacle, you have the Six of Potted Trees, the Six of Pentacles. So not seeing a return right away, or not seeing that return coming from the same direction, not getting a direct return, even if there is a return, but it comes to you in an unexpected way or from an unrelated direction. You guys are really big on your balance, and in this case, it might be necessary to broaden or widen your scope to see the establishment of that balance, because if you look too closely, you might only see the flow of energy in one direction, probably out. So there's also with this a redistribution of resources, and that could feel janky in some way at this time before things kind of get all balanced out again. So for the best thing about this month, you have the Ten of Succulents, the Ten of Cups, one of the most positive cards in the deck. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that the entire month will be a solid nonstop butterflies and rainbows, because that's not real life. But there will be moments of pure bliss and joy, whether they are actually more numerous or for whatever reason your mindset just makes them more available to you to recognize and appreciate. it's like that emotional resonance you get when you can just feel everything aligning for you and everything coming together and the universe working in your favor, even if you can't see it yet in the physical. It's time where you might have a more robust sense of well-being and happiness. So for your influence and impact on others, you have the Page of Succulents, the Page of Cups. So you might be awakening or stirring emotions in others, or softening them in some way. It's a very innocent and childlike energy. So you might be triggering the inner child in others or inspiring people to believe in their own dreams by believing in yours, like by example. So something you're doing or a way that you're showing up might be highlighting the beauty in life for people who need to see things in a new light. And there's a renewed sense of wonder with the Page of Cups, of not knowing everything or having to know everything, of it is like the world still being open to you. And so there could be an element of awakening others' curiosity in you or how you do what you do. For some of you, this could be a flirtatious energy too. So it's evoking those school-aged crush symptoms, the fluttery heart and the increased energy you get when you just start to be interested in someone. So you could be stirring that up in someone else. So for what opportunities you should be looking for, you have the Devil. So two potential things here. As an opportunity, this is going to be talking about maybe indulging in guilty pleasures if and when an opportunity to do so with no strings attached, aka safely, arises for you. So maybe you get a night off or a night alone and you can binge that show that no one else wants to watch with you. That's for some of you, but for others though, it's more profound. It could be more along the lines of opportunities to free yourself from a restrictive dynamic such as an addictive cycle or a codependent connection, romantic or otherwise. Codependency is not exclusive to romantic partners. Like, okay, as an example of this, studies show that vacation is a great time to try to quit smoking, because what it does is it takes people out of their routine. It takes them away from those stimuli that are tied to that habit. It takes you off autopilot. So if you always, do a thing after a thing, it's that initial stimulus that gets removed, and so it's easier to stop. So for where you'll find the most support, you have the Strength card. And this is kind of cool because the Strength card in the traditional iconography is depicted with a lion, and you have that in that Courage card over there. So it's kind of like a double confirmation. It's being supported by your own grace and ability to avoid rigidity and counterproductive force, wasted or too much force as you strive for this big intention or goal. See, while there was something about not being passive in the overall energy, this also means not being overly aggressive either. There's a fine line between decisive action and then overbearing. So walking that line is sort of your forte anyway. And I would also say that patience, accessing your well of patience, will be very supportive to you in June as well. So for your self-care directive, you have the Two of Flowering Plants, the Two of Wands. That is actually pretty meta for this reading. It's talking again about dreaming big and making the plans to get there. It's also a card of carving your own path without permission or wasting your energy looking around for a paved one, like driving around the parking lot forever looking for a spot when you can, I don't know, park on the grass. Anyway, this could be saying that you need to give yourself something to look forward to, especially if dopamine is something that you struggle with. While a lot of the signs have been getting messages about being in the moment and being rooted in the present, this is actually suggesting a little bit more attention on the future and where you want to go. Sometimes goal setting isn't about hustling or achieving or self-improvement or not being enough or always having to level up. Sometimes it's just healthy to have something that we're working towards as a source of motivation, something to look forward to. We need that a source of motivation to do anything, to keep going, to make all the BS just seem worthwhile. So they're asking you to take care of yourself by giving yourself that this month. So that's what I have for you, Libra. Much love, and I'll talk to you next month. Thank you.